Welcome to Native Talk Arizona, Native Health's Native American Cultural Affairs program, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy. TOCC is a 2-year college for individuals from all walks of life who want to further their education. They serve the residents of the TO Nation, but also those who wish to pursue a higher education. In the studio with us today is Cassandra Scott, the Phoenix Director of TOCC. Welcome, Cassandra.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Well, welcome back. We haven't had you in person, so super excited that you're here. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, and then obviously about TOCC.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. For those who are my Navajo counterparts, She'e Halsoan Shle, Tsenabitli Bashichin, Zitlatni Dashiche, Todak Onjadashanele, Tsetlachi Waliegi Eden Asha, Cassandra Scott A Dashajine. Like Suzanne said, I am the director of the Phoenix Center for Da'na'atem Community College. We have a center here in downtown Phoenix, Skigikmashgamaki, so we're right next door to your facility here at Central and Indian School, and we share a space with the Phoenix Indian Center. So we're a great hub of resources for everyone. I came to this position just about 3 years ago, with about 20 years of experience in student services and higher education. This is the first time I'm working at a tribal community college. So I come from the Navajo Nation, but work for the Da'na'atem Nation, who has a tribal college main campus in Sells, Arizona, and have had this center here in Phoenix for about 5 years. We moved to our new building this past summer. So we've been open for quite some time and just trying to increase our enrollment and provide services to students. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me in a nutshell.
I think you guys do such an awesome job. And so you said you've been involved with higher education for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 20 years. I have worked at, had the pleasure of working at Arizona State University. I've worked for Maricopa Colleges. I've worked for Grand Canyon University. And this is the first time I've been able to work specifically with all tribal students, tribal programs, tribal curriculum. So it is definitely a learning curve for me, but my experience has taken me from financial aid to scholarships to admissions and advising. So a wide variety of experience I've had, but I really do thoroughly enjoy my job here at TOCC. It's been very rewarding, very difficult, but very fun.
But it sounds like you know, like all aspects of higher ed.
Yeah.
You know, from looking at things, like you said, you know, financial aid all the way through.
Yeah, I come from a family of educators. I figured out all of my sisters are teachers. So they teach in Gallup, New Mexico. So they teach at the elementary school and the high school there. I like this facet of education because I see all kinds of students. I see young people. I see elderly people. I see people who are re-careering. Many different people from many different areas just looking for an opportunity. And what a great way to do that with a tribal college who respects history and language and culture, and just gives people a different sense of meaning and purpose to their educational journeys.
And they want to be there.
And they want to be there. Yeah.
Right. Rather than, I think sometimes little children or younger people that are starting their educational career, they're there because they have to be there.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about TOCC.
Mm-hmm. So TOCC is a land-grant institution that opened in 1998 on the Da'na'atem Nation to provide a resource for their community, because Sells is about an hour west of Tucson. If you've never been to that area, it's near Kitt Peak. It's remote. There aren't a lot of infrastructure there as far as like being a city with, you know, like street lights and, you know, a lot of different resources that we might be accustomed to here in the Phoenix area. But such a great way for the people to invest in their community, to provide training and opportunity. But like with most urban areas, there's a large influx of tribal communities in this area. So the nation decided to provide a satellite campus, a mini part of TOCC, if you will. Started out with a couple classes that they would try to offer in person, but a focus on the O'odham language and revitalizing the Da'na'atem language for the people, and just providing a resource for people to come and sit and learn the language. Because you can try and read about it, you can try and go online and do things with the language, but if you don't sit and listen and don't take a class, it's a little bit harder. So that was one of the purposes of developing the satellite campus here in Phoenix, and just being able to provide students an opportunity to take classes in person.
Okay, pretty awesome. So I'm going to back up. Okay, first is the campus themselves, right?
Yes.
So I believe they do have resident that you can stay there, correct?
Yes.
Is it also a program where you can just pop in if you live nearby
Yeah.
and take day classes or evening classes? You don't have to be a student that lives on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. So just like any other traditional college campus, there is housing on campus for both men and women. It's almost like an apartment style. So students can choose to live on campus and be there and have the housing option. But we do have commuter students who come from the nation or come from other parts of the reservation to come and take classes in person. But we also have classes online. So we're accessible to many different people from many different areas. And the great option about our Phoenix Center location is we still offer that in-person option. So I have some students every evening, Monday through Thursday, who come and take classes with us so that they can sit down with their instructor and get the information and ask questions and interact with one another. It's a little bit different from being an online student or a student over Zoom.
I've heard such amazing things. I know we have some people here at Native Health that have been
Yep.
taking classes there, and I know they're getting ready to graduate.
Yes, they are.
And one in particular talks about taking the language class and how much she's learned and enjoyed it, and always kind of filling me in on her assignments and what she's doing. But I think found it incredibly helpful and fulfilling and likes it. And I think given the confidence to kind of go on with her educational career. And I think it's all due to you and to TOCC and making people feel welcome and heard and flexible. So I think you all do such a tremendous job. But I do have a question for you. I believe that tuition is waived. Is that correct? If they're tribally enrolled, correct?
Yeah, if a student can provide documentation, there are benefits for waiving the tuition, so making educational opportunities more affordable for everyone. So if that waiver and that benefit's not available to you, we can discuss different options, but we do offer the lowest tuition rate in Arizona. There's a $34.25 credit hour charge per credit hour for taking classes. So even if the waiver doesn't work, there are other ways that students can still afford education and have an opportunity to be able to pursue different options that might be available to them.
Okay, so are the degrees that you have, is it just strictly an associate's, or do you have bachelor's? And do the classes that you provide, and again, I'm not in education, do they count towards a bachelor's or transfer?
Yeah,
or
so
a master's or whatever you might want to do?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And sometimes we don't really understand the processes and the lingo and the language that we use at colleges and universities. So one of the things that you want to make sure, if you're a college student anywhere, is make sure that your institution is accredited. And we are accredited just like the public universities and colleges here in Arizona. We're all accredited under an Arizona transfer, Arizona General Education Curriculum description. So we have the same type of classes and transfer policies as Maricopa colleges or Central Arizona College or Northland Pioneer. So if students pass our classes and they work towards degrees and transfer pathways, they can get into the 3 public universities in Arizona. So that would be ASU, NAU, and U of A. There are agreements that if a student completes an associate's degree with a 2.5 GPA or better, they're automatically admitted to those universities when they come from a public community college. And TOCC is considered a public community college.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really important that students ask those kinds of questions, and it's okay that you don't know how to navigate the system, that's what we're here for as staff and as faculty and as members of the college. Is our job is to make sure that you understand and you know how to advocate on your own behalf and know that you're doing the right things to advance yourself. So our degree programs can be at the associate's level. There are things that are called associates in applied sciences, which are degrees that prepare you to go right into the workforce. And then there are associate degrees that transfer to a university, or you can just earn that associate and be done with that if that's your desire to stop at that level. But they're designed to transfer into a college or a university of your choice. We also have certificate programs. Most of our certificate programs are a few classes, and most of the time those certificates plug into an associate's degree, because you might not know how far you want to go when you start pursuing your college education. So we try to make it a little bit easier in that if you have an interest in, let's say casino gaming, you could start those classes in a casino gaming certificate. They're business related. So then you're like, you know what? I really enjoy this. I'm working at the casino. These classes are helping me. A business degree actually might be better for me. So then you take those classes and you plug them into an associate's degree, and then you keep working, and you've already started on some courses. So you've made some headway into a new pathway for yourself. So you're not just going from point A to point B, and then you're changing a different pathway and you're starting over again from point A to point B. So it's all designed to build together, because what I've come to find in my experience in working with students is we don't know what a degree program is or what types of classes they are until you start taking them. Because when you get to college and you get to a university or you get into a training program, you start to learn so much more about what those possibilities are. And that's what college can be. You might think that you might want to start out and going into a nursing program, but you learn what a surgical technician is. You learn what a nutritionist is. You learn, people who do community health work, which is, you're probably not in a hospital, but you're out in the community teaching people about domestic violence or, natural resource conservation or different aspects of health and sciences that you didn't know were there. So it's just a great opportunity for people to get started at an affordable place and build upon the building blocks that you have available to you. And if it's not for you, that's okay. There's other programs, other training opportunities that could be available as well.
Okay, so I'm going to back up because I think this sounds like such a great opportunity for people. So what's the first step? The first step is obviously wanting to go for secondary or higher education. And then is it making an application, or before you do that, do you need to make an appointment with you? Let's say they're looking at Phoenix. Is it important that I would call you and say, hey, Cassandra, I need to come in and kind of think about what my career path is? Or do you just put in the application and then just kind of wait?
It's whatever you have time for, because in our lives, we have so many different restrictions to different things. So we don't require appointments. You certainly can call us and make an appointment, and we can set aside some time to talk with you. The easiest thing to do is, if you're not sure, come talk to us. Come ask us what the process is. If you'd like to apply, the application process is available online, or you can come to our office and we can help you with it. I just helped somebody this morning. She came in and was like, I think I might be interested in taking classes. And I was like, okay, well, do you want to start in May or do you want to start in August? And then we sat down and we did the application together. The application process doesn't have a fee. It takes probably less than 15 minutes to do the application, and you upload the required documents that are needed. Something as simple as your identification or your transcripts from high school or your GED are required. So,
but you're also not intimidating, which I think is super important. I think sometimes people are a little scared or intimidated or worried.
Yeah, it's a lot of unknown, because if you've never had anybody in your family go to college, or you've never even been to a college campus, you don't know what to ask. So just come in and talk to us, because honestly, I would rather talk to you about what you would like to do than sit at my computer and do emails and other things all day that require a different type of attention. I like talking to students, which is why I've been in higher ed for so long. And I just like I like to see the wheels turning in students' heads when they see, oh, okay, I can do this. And we break it down in steps when you come into the office. The information is overwhelming. There are many different things that you have to do to get ready for college. There are things like the admissions application. You might have financial aid and scholarship paperwork that you need to do. You might not even be enrolled in your tribal nation, and we can walk through that and help you figure that out. And then there's orientation, and there's advising, and there's, a lot of different things that you have to consider as a student. And I just tell people, hey, here's my card. This is our office. This is when we're open. If you're unsure, you don't know, or you want to confirm, come back and talk to us. Your college and your university should be approachable. You should be able to ask questions when you don't know something or you're confused. And it's not that people are scared. It's just that we just don't know. And that's okay. And that's why we're here, is we're here to help.
So if I was to make an appointment with you and just say, hey, I want to come in and find out about the application process, what do you do then? Is that the point where you would do some advising and say, hey, you know what, maybe you're interested in casino gaming, like you said, or community health worker, or whatever it is? Is it that point, or do you suggest that people go ahead and apply and then talk to an advisor? How does that all work?
There's no obligations when you apply. You can always fill out an admissions application and you may get accepted, and you might change your mind because life happens. You might have gotten that job that you've been wanting to have for quite a while and you don't have the time to take classes. That's okay. You can do an admissions application at any point. It's not required to get information from us. We have advisors that come to our location every month. You don't have to be an admitted student to talk to them, because you might have questions about, hey, way back when I was a student at Phoenix College and I may or may not want to continue my degree, or I graduated from high school and I went right to work for a few years, but now I think I want to go back to college or get some training. And those are the different types of people that we talk to. And it really is just, let's have a conversation. If the application's right for you right now, let's do it. If you don't have time, let's set up some time for you to come back. There are many, many different ways for people to come in and talk to us. We're here to help you. So whatever help you need, that's where we meet you at. You're not going to be required to follow our process from 1, 2, and 3. We're here to see where you are and to help you out along the process and answer your questions.
That's why you guys are so popular, right? So are your classes, are they in person? Are they online? Is it hybrid? How does this all work?
So we do have classes in person at our main Cells campus and at our Phoenix location. So if you need to be able to sit in a classroom with your classmates and have an instructor in front of you, that's what we have available. We have a lot of different classes available online still, and that's post-COVID, when no one was allowed to be together in the same room in person. We shifted and created a lot more online classes for our students. So online can be 2 different ways. You can do it through a portal that's called Canvas, which is something you log into. You have deadlines that are set and you work at whatever work's given to you, and then you meet your deadlines. You may not necessarily interact with anybody during a specific time, but it's a portal there for you to complete your courses. If you've ever taken online classes or online training, that's Canvas, and that's a class that we offer. A different way to take classes online is over Zoom. So during COVID, again, we did Zoom classes, we did Zoom meetings, we did meetings on Google Hangouts and things like that. So the way that these classes work is you have a set time during the week. Let's say Monday, Wednesday at 4 p.m. You're going to get online on Zoom, you're going to turn on your camera, and you're going to see all the other students in your class. You're all in the Zoom class, and your instructor is also a Zoom attendee. So then you interact that way. You have questions, they lecture, you take notes, you ask questions, and you interact. So there's that way also. So the modalities of our classes are in person, online, through Canvas, and over Zoom.
So the ones that are online, via Zoom, then does the professor have like office hours where you can meet with them if you've got any difficulties or questions?
Yeah. Any good college or any good university, no matter where you're going, your instructors should be accessible. They should have office hours where it's a designated time during the week that they could meet you at a drop-in opportunity, or you should be able to contact them and set up an appointment with them and say, hey, I have some questions, or I'm not sure about this, or get recommendations from them. So yes, our instructors do offer office hours as faculty.
We'll continue our interview with Cassandra Scott after this short break. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 8800 North 22nd Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. Native Health provides primary medical, dental, behavioral health, WIC, and wellness services for the urban Native American community. For more information, call 602-279-5262 or visit our webpage at nativehealthphoenix.org.
What kind of initiatives or programs do you have? I think is one of the requirements that you have to take a language class. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, degree-seeking students for the associate's degrees, all employees and staff, myself included, have to take O'odham language, Dotna O'odham language, and O'odham history. So I'm Navajo, and I try to take as many Navajo classes as I possibly can. And this semester, I added THO 101 to my class list. And it is a very fun language to learn. I've had a very patient instructor. And you had mentioned before, like, just the sense of positivity that comes from learning your language and learning your culture and how that just elevates you as a person. So TOCC has a dual mission of supporting academic and cultural learning. We actually have an important role in sustaining the O'odham language and various initiatives like the primary indicators of language loss is when the young ones are no longer growing up speaking their language, which is common because a native language, like with me, I grew up with my grandmother. My Masana was my teacher, and I spent so much time with her. So me being able to know the Navajo language was almost second nature because she didn't speak any English. And if I wanted to communicate with her and ask her for a quarter when we were at the laundromat, I had to do that in Navajo. So it's just a way for us to make sure that the language is important and should be spoken by as many people as possible because that's the way that it's sustained. We can put things in books, we can put things on paper, but the programs and initiatives that we have are partnerships with the Dotna O'odham Nation's Head Start programs. There is a language awareness campaign that happens. There's community-based conversational Atam classes that are offered. There are training programs to increase the number of faculty that could teach at the college level for Tatna Atam language. And you had asked me about bachelor's degrees earlier. That's on one of our long-term goals, is to create a bachelor's degree for Atam studies. We are the only college that offers an associate's degree currently in Tatna Atam studies. So there are a lot of different ways for us to build capacity for sustaining the language, cultivating new teachers who can teach the language and the history. So it is a huge part of the college and who we are. And as tribal colleges and universities across the country, that's typically one of their goals, one of their capacity areas that they want to build and maintain and support. And at this day and time, who we are and what we do and how we do it is most important. So, and that involves culture and language.
I agree. So I want to go back. So if somebody was there, let's go back to the gaming or to the casino class, to the gaming casino. Yep. If somebody, let's say they were interested in that, and then they would apply, and then they would say, okay, so then they would take the language class, correct? And then they would also take other classes. So you would be advising them, or somebody, their advisor would say, okay, so you're going to need to take the language class, the history class, and then you're going to take these classes. And then, but you have different programs. How many different tracks or certifications or programs or classes are there?
Yeah, we have a multitude of different degree programs and certificates. They fall under major categories like art, business, computer information systems, education, GIS, liberal arts, science and health, social work, and Tatna Atam studies. We also offer a high school equivalency program. So if someone is in need of earning their GED, those are programs that we offer. Down in cells, there's an opportunity to work as a solar panel installer, work on a certificate, and then also work on a culinary arts certificate. The nation has plans to build a hospital facility on the nation. So some of the areas that we're looking at to make sure that those programs are available to students are EMT and CNA programs, and then obviously building into other programs. As a college or a university, it takes quite a few years to propose a program that you've never had before on your campus. So we figure if we start with some immediate needs of the nation, like a CNA and an EMT, again, you can be able to build upon those. A CNA can eventually be on a pathway to a BSN, and EMT could be on a pathway to a surgical technician or some other aspect in the hospital. So there are a multitude of different programs, and most tribal colleges and universities are looking to fill the gaps of training and opportunities for their nation. And that's the same goal here at Tatna Atam Community College.
I think you guys are so successful. I mean, I don't know how success is measured. I mean, I don't know with tribal tribal colleges how you measure that, but I know that just in talking to people, just the it's so well respected and used, and the interest is there. I don't know, it seems very successful to me.
Yeah, I feel like over the past 3 years since I've been here at the Phoenix Center, when I first started, we had monthly traffic of about 2 to 4 students a month. Right now at the Phoenix Center, we're averaging just under 200 visitors a month. So the interest is there and the information is there. And like I had mentioned before, I would rather work with students and rather work with families and talk to you about, how we might benefit your goals and the opportunities that are available here. Sometimes I advise just the student. Sometimes I advise a person and their significant other, or a student might come in with like their little ones and we give them coloring papers while we talk to their parent about the opportunities that we have. Or I've advised the whole family, and by the time our conversation is over, we've signed up 3 more students instead of just the one that came in for information. So
That's awesome.
we try to be really inviting and really accommodating because, like you mentioned, it can be difficult, it can be uneasy, and you might not know what to ask or how to ask, but that's what we're here for. I want you to come in and I want you to see us and take advantage of this great opportunity that's offered by TOCC.
Okay, so I want to step back. So you mentioned a couple minutes ago that you've got programs for high school students. So is this for the GED or whatever it's? I know it's not called a GED anymore.
It is actually still called a GED.
Okay.
So yeah, that's right. We're still there. There's just different ways students can get a high school equivalency. So if you're a really good test taker and you can study a subject like math or science and go take a test, then GED is great for you. I'll tell you, in the years that I've worked in higher ed, it's really hard to study a subject and go take a test if you've never had any classes or any instruction on those subjects.
Not be me.
So one of the ways that we have a way for students to earn their high school equivalency is called College Credit Pathway, which is they take a set of college classes with other college students, and as they pass those courses, they complete a specific set, and then they earn their high school equivalency. So that college credit pathway is different than taking a subject test, which is the traditional way to take a GED.
But is that considered dual enrollment then?
So dual enrollment is specifically for a high school age student. Dual enrollment, and you may have also heard concurrent enrollment. So a current high school student, if they are taking a college class at their high school taught by their high school teacher, that's dual enrollment.
Okay.
Their high school teacher is certified to teach, let's say, calculus. And instead of the student leaving campus to go take calculus at TOCC or calculus at Maricopa College, they take the class in their high school during their schedule and earn a passing grade. And then concurrent enrollment, you might have heard of some programs from Maricopa called Hoop of Learning.
Yeah.
Or, an ACE program. Those concurrent enrollment classes are classes that students can take as a high school student, but they're enrolled in a college class not taken at their high school.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different ways that people can try and obtain some additional coursework or training. So that's why you should come see us and talk to us so we can help you.
That's a good idea. And you should start early, right?
Yeah,
like
you
in high
should
school?
start early. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we have some students, especially in the Sells area, there's a huge push to provide college curriculum to the students from Datna High School, from Aho High School. Our recruitment and outreach team, our dual enrollment coordinator, they're doing such a great job to provide students information about how to be a college student while they're still in high school, because there's studies out there that say if a student's exposed to college early and they see that they're capable and they see that they can achieve at that level, why not keep going? Why not invest in yourself and keep going to college when you're done? So those studies are out there that say that a student will be better and have a better opportunity at college if they complete dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment classes while they're in high school.
so if they're living in the city, though, do you recommend that if you've got, I know we're right by Central High School or Camelback High School or geographically, that they still should come in and see you? So if I've got a child who's a sophomore or junior, at school, should they pop in or make an appointment and bring them in?
Absolutely.
Say, I'm thinking about this after I graduate.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of great opportunities for students to start taking college classes and be involved in college programs. The biggest difference for us compared to those other options are the classes are going to be smaller. Our instructors are probably going to be native. Like my math instructor that teaches classes here at the Phoenix Center, he's a Native American, and he has such a great rapport with students that he's very approachable. And math is one of those scary subjects for people. It's usually the class that's keeping people from earning their degree, but by the time students leave that class and when they're done, they're like, I'm so glad I took that class in person. And high school students are welcome to come in and take those classes. Just come talk to us and we'll tell you how it's possible. and you would be able to have textbooks from us and supplies. A different option for us also compared to what might be available at other local community college courses is you could take any class, including art classes or computer classes. There are not specific courses that are only available to high school students. So there's going to be more options for you here.
That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Are the classes like all day, every day? Are they in the evenings? What kind of schedule do you have?
We actually have classes almost every day of the week except Sunday.
Oh.
So here at the Phoenix Center, we typically try to have classes Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday. On the main campus and online, there are some classes that are 3 days a week. But I've also seen a Saturday option for like college math. So if you want to go to college math on Saturday from 8 to 2, you certainly could do that. So
awesome.
The schedule comes out every semester, which is why really no matter what college or university you go to, you should always register early, because the earlier you register, the more options you have. The closer you get to the start of the semester, you have less things to choose from, and it might not be ideal for you to take a 7 a.m. class or a 7 p.m. class if you're not a morning or an evening person. So just the earlier, the better. That's always a good rule of thumb, no matter what you do. If you're prepared, you'll have more options and you'll have more opportunities that work with your schedule.
Okay, so let's talk about what documents or registration information do you need to register. You said it doesn't take very long, that you did an application with somebody this morning.
Yeah.
So how long, so what would I need to bring when I come in?
Yeah, so when she came in, I didn't want to overwhelm her and ask her, hey, do you have all of these documents with you right now? Because her answer was probably no. Because she was like, I've never been to college before. I've never applied. So I didn't want to just start rattling off like all of the things that she needed. I said, hey, let's sit down. Let's look at the application. And then if you need to turn anything in, we'll follow up. But it's a good idea to take a look at our website. Our admissions information is all posted there.
What's your website?
Our website is tocc.edu.
Okay.
So tocc.edu. And it's going to tell you there that you need an application for admission, which is done online. If you have proof of your enrollment status with your tribe, you can submit that. You also want to provide identification, whether that be a driver's license or a state-issued ID, and then also proof of your high school completion, whether you finished with a high school diploma or a GED certificate. As long as it has the date of when you completed that, that's what we would need. We have a lot of transfer students. We have a lot of students who have taken college classes in other places. So if you have college transcripts, you should submit those as well.
What if you're a high school student, still in high school, and you want to take classes so you wouldn't have that?
Yeah,
document?
there are some things you don't have to turn in,
Okay.
Obviously, depending on your situation, because not everyone has college transcripts. Not all people are going to have a high school equivalency or GED.
Okay.
So just in general, those are just what you need. And if you have questions, ask us, and we'll tell you how to get it submitted. The application can be a little finicky because it is, an online application. And you know how online systems can be. So if you run into hiccups, just pick up the phone and give us a call or shoot us an email, and we would be happy to help.
And like I say, you're super responsive. You answer emails all the time. Like, I probably shouldn't say this, day, night, and weekend, but you answer very quickly. Okay, so question for you. So you said it's pretty easy to do a transfer, right? Come in and transfer, and then also transfer out to a university. If I were to apply, or somebody I know, do you do a new student orientation? Or
Yeah.
how does that work?
Yeah, every college and every university, not just at TOCC, should have some type of orientation program for their students. So orientation means exactly that. It's going to orient you to being a student to that college. So our orientation can be done online or in person. We're actually going to have an in-person orientation at the Phoenix Center on August 5th. So orientation brings everybody at the college to one place for you. So we have financial aid, we have scholarships, we have the library, we have our HIMDOG committee that talks about the cultural priorities of the college. We have admissions, we have advising. They all come to one place during one day for you so that you can get the information and ask any questions that you need. So orientation, if your college and university wants you to have the information, they will provide an orientation program for you. And I like to say there's a lot of studies out there that say if you attend orientation as a student and you get acclimated to the information that you need, you're going to be a better student.
True. That's why I can see. That's why you're like a higher education, because you definitely, yes, got it. All right. So I think you've got some deadlines coming up. Is that correct? Sometime in May or June?
Yeah, every semester there are going to be deadlines that you want to pay attention to. Typically, there's an admissions deadline. So for us, for summer, if you want to start taking classes at the end of May, this summer admissions deadline is going to be May 12th. And then in the fall semester, that's going to start in August, and that admissions deadline will fall at the end of July. So, yeah, those admissions deadlines are important because that gives us time to put you in the system, make sure you have all of those documents in that we talked about, and get you ready to go for registration and advising and orientation and all the other fun things we get to do together.
Okay, so May 12th. So super important date, and then the end of July.
The end of July.
Okay, so you've got to do your application, get everything in, all your documents, tribal ID, CIB, whatever you're doing. Okay, all right. And then we know that you need to go to the student orientation because you're going to be more successful and finish, hopefully. Okay, so I saw that you had some really interesting programs coming up. I think the summer, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what they were, since I don't remember?
Yeah, no, that's okay. So we have a few different programming opportunities that happen with our HIMDOG committee. So anything that is culturally relevant or seasonal, for instance, harvesting cactus fruit, those are some of the options that happen at the main campus. But we will also be having our first summer bridge program for high school students. So students who are in the Sells area. It's not quite open to everyone just quite yet, because it's the first time we're doing this. So as the tribal nation, our priority is not them students and to get them exposed to the college. So they're going to have a summer bridge program where they're going to come live in the residential hall for a few days prior to the semester starting. They're going to, get a college experience, because if you're exposed to it, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I know the ropes. I know where to go. I know where this building is. I know who the admissions people are. I know where the cafeteria is, and those kinds of things. So if you have an opportunity to do a summer bridge program, a lot of colleges and universities offer that. It's the first time that we're going to do it, and I'm really excited for that for the students, because when you hear student chatter and you have students on campus for the first time, it's just a different kind of environment. It really is the most rewarding part of my job, to see people exposed to new information and knowing that they belong there and that this space is for them.
Pretty awesome. Boy, you do such a great job. All right. So I think, or I know that I saw that you also do career services, right? Mm-hmm. So what does that entail? Is that when you've graduated, in the middle, when you've transferred, like sort of what's the process? What is it? Who can use it? Mm-hmm. All of that.
So our academic advising team is great. Our academic advising manager and our 2 academic advisors on campus, they are responsible for helping students with career information. So career information starts at any time. The earlier you start it, the better, because you can get exposed to careers through internships, through scholarship opportunity, through conferences or leadership positions, and then maybe doing a visit or a mentorship with someone in a career you might be interested in. That's the job of our advising team, but we also have great faculty that provide that mentorship to students. And then as staff and other positions within the college, we like talking to students about what we've done. We've all had other careers. We've all had different kinds of college experiences, and some of them were really great, but sometimes we have conversations with students and we'd be like, when I was a college student, I should have done this, or I didn't know that this existed, so make sure you check this out. So you can learn a lot from people's experiences. So even though it's a position and a task of our academic advisors, anybody who works in the college is going to be a great mentor for the students.
I'm so impressed. So I don't have a lot of time left, but do you have like a quick favorite success story or something that just kind of makes your day, or you look back and know that you really made a difference?
So one of the things our students get to participate in is the American Indian Higher Education Consortium Student Conference. Now, as an educator and someone who's worked in higher ed for so long, we go to so many different kinds of training and conferences for ourselves as staff. But this one is specific for our students. So our student services team, they put together every year probably about 20 to 30 students that get to go to this conference. And a part of this conference are student competitions. We have students who participate in a chess tournament. They participate in archery or volleyball or a knowledge bowl. There are many different categories at this AHEC conference. And just to see the students know that they are capable, they dress up, they add their native flair to their professional attire, and you just see all these colorful scarves and all this really nice jewelry and everybody's moccasins or their sandals or, whatever heirloom they have been given from their family. They get to wear that with pride and just be there and compete and show people who they are. But they're so proud and confident to be there. That is one of my favorite opportunities, right close second to commencement, because commencement is never for the student, it's for the families.
Right.
And seeing them succeed is great. You see everyone. You see their children, you see their grandchildren, you see their grandparents, you see aunts and uncles and cousins. And it's always so funny to me when people have to have graduation tickets for a ceremony, because it's like, okay, how do I pick out of my entire family 4 people to bring with me? That's got to be tough. But our commencement's going to happen here about the second week in May, and it's just going to be great. We have our students who earn their associate's degrees and their certificates participate in commencement, but we also have our high school equivalency and our GED students participate as well. So it's really great to see. It's like one of the favorite parts of my job.
That's pretty awesome. I think what you were mentioning, the American Indian, the higher education, I believe that somebody here had gone to that and was chosen. And I remember, I think it was a year, I don't know, with COVID, a year or two ago, I think, just so talking about it and the pride and the confidence and the joy of being selected and participating made such a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
and AHEC is for all tribal colleges and universities in the nation. So you see people from northern tribes, from the eastern tribes, and all of us from the southwest, from Dotnottam Community College, from San Carlos College, from Diné College, and you get to see familiar faces, but you also get to learn, like, what did Lakota students get to, like, learn and see? Or the hosting city, they give you, like, all of the insights into where the tribal bookstores are or where the tribal, eateries are. And it's just a great way to learn about and being exposed to other places. But it gives you that sense of pride and that reinforcement of, I am a Native person and I belong and I'm going to succeed because there's all these people in my corner. Yep. And it's such a great thing to see.
You guys do such a great job. All right, well, we're pretty much out of time. How can listeners find more information about TOCC? And most importantly, how can they contact you if they would like to?
Yeah, absolutely. So our webpage, again, is going to be tocc.edu. And that is a webpage for both our main campus and our Phoenix location. We have a space here on the corner of Central and Indian School, like I mentioned before. We are in the same space as the Phoenix Indian Center, so we have classrooms there. So come and see us in person Monday through Friday.
At 4041 North Central Avenue, Building B.
Yep, Building B.
Southeast corner of Central and Indian School.
Yes, ma'am, that is where we are. And when you're here, make sure you visit Native Health and the Indian Center. We have a great number of resources available to you. Our office number is going to be 480-590-3447. And you can always come in and see us. And we have snacks. So come and see us. We're right off of the light rail. We're right off of the bus line. And we're here to help with any questions that you might have.
2 more quick questions. Your email?
Yep. My email address is going to be cscott@tocc.edu. So my name is Cassandra Scott. So cscott@tocc.edu.
Okay. Last question, because I know I'm out of time. Hours that you're open, is it Monday through Friday? Is it only 12 to 2? What is it?
So we are typically in the office Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then on Fridays, we're there from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So Teresa and I are the staff at the Phoenix Center. So when we have events or off-campus opportunities, we may not be available, but please come and see us and give us a call or send us an email, and we are ready to help.
So thank you, Cassandra. It's been a pleasure. I've learned so much. I'm so impressed. And I think TOCC is like the best. You do such a great job. Thank you.
Sapo.
Thank you for listening to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and 90.7 FM KRDP. Our executive producer is Susan Levy. Sound engineer is Javier Quiroga. We hope you will tune in again next week. If you have any questions, please reach us at nativetalkaz@listen2krdp.com.